Deeby 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 doo doo deeby doo doo. Well, it looks like we're streaming. Streaming. It does look like we're streaming. That's good. That's fantastic. Cause yeah, good, good, good. I'd just like to say hello to everybody out there in the world today. I do apologize for not coming about yesterday. I was going to do the show, but I ended up sleeping through the day. And oh well, it happens. But got pretty busy working on stuff. But I'd like to say that tonight we're doing a new thing that we're starting on Sunday evenings. And I'm here with my buddy Gematria Database. And we're talking movies because we always end up talking about movies when we should be talking about other shit anyway. And so here we are. It's two guys, one movie. And we picked a real gem here, a real winner. It's called The Giver.
Like this would be like do like right there.
Right. Yeah. No, the movie that we're going to be reviewing tonight is called The Giver, and it was 2013 it came out. You said there
2014.
2014, and it's got one of my favorite actors in it. It's got Jeff Bridges, the man, the dude. He didn't drop a single dude like reference, but I kind of caught one. Sort of. But anyway, but won't get into that right away. But what's the premise there? Do you want to explain the premise?
Of what? The Giver?
The movie that we're going to review tonight, yeah.
I would say that it's about like a coming. It's like a futuristic coming of age. Oh, dystopian coming of age show.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah, dystopian coming of age, and there's actually, it's funny that you say that because I didn't think of it that way and I didn't interpret it that way until you actually just said it. But they used a lot of metaphors for the adolescence kind of thing. Like there's a lot of Brave New World kind of thrown into this dystopian story. It starts off where our main characters, arguably, are basically turning of age. They're basically coming out of adolescence and teenagerism to basically adulthood. And in this world, at that point, you stop being a child. They determine your job for you based on your skill set because they monitor your entire upbringing. And we really got to kind of unpack this because there's a lot to kind of get into. They did it all. I kind of like the way they did it. They dumped a lot of exposition on you, but through his eyes, through the main character's eyes, which was I
like that too.
It was kind of cool. The guy, the lead actor though, he was so Hayden Christensen though. He was very very Hayden. Like he was kind of like bargain bin Hayden Christensen. Like
yeah.
Wasn't he? Like he just had the pretty boy eyes. He's just like just. They kept on doing those freaking like those close up pan shots, and I was like, I have the high ground. You were the chosen one. But yeah. So yeah, like I said, it picks up. It's basically their graduation day, and it's like a small village, really. It's not very large. It's like this small settlement, and it's kind of like a little mega village. Like it's kind of everything's kind of like Monopolyville houses. Everything's kind of like prefabricated. There's no color. The whole thing starts off in black and white. And I wasn't sure if it was part of the setting or the mood. I wasn't sure if they were setting the mood. I wasn't sure if people were seeing in black and white or not. And the question does get answered later, which is a real weird one for me when we get to it. But anyway, yeah, like I said, it's their graduation. They're going to determine their jobs. And it starts off because the guy's like kind of talking to the audience and he's saying, I'm a bit different. I see things differently. I don't say anything, though, because you can't, you can't be different. Everyone has to be the same. And like I said, it's all very cookie cutter. Everybody looks like a facsimile of each other. The houses all look the same. They all got the same bikes. And he does make a very, very big point there to say that lying is outlawed. They don't show any emotion, so there's no like nobody fights. There's no arguing. Everyone like there's a few tenets that they have to go by. Wasn't it 5 rules? Was it?
Yeah, it seems like everybody trusts everybody. Kind of
Yeah,
thing.
because
Like,
you're not allowed to distrust them because like basically you get sent to
but,
the
but they don't seem like they know that. Like they don't seem they
no.
haven't faced fear.
They know that any friction or anything that's not happy is basically then you go to the elsewhere, and they're pretty careful not to tell you what that means, but just by the
There's
name,
like a border.
the elsewhere. What's that? Is that like what is it like a back room? Like, what is it?
Well, I just saw at the beginning. It said there's a border. It says they're surrounded by a border.
Well, the border that they're surrounded by, though, they're on basically like a plateau. It's like a big flat, like a mesa, and then the mesa on the outside is surrounded by all these clouds and mists. So it's almost like they're either in a mountain where the top of it's been kind of flattened off, but you don't really know because you can't really see. It's just rolling mist because plot. But
Yeah, exactly.
but I mean, it's cool. It's kind of mysterious, and but there's an old house. You kind of get a glimpse of this old
There's a
cabin,
curfew.
and there's a curfew. Yep, and they're not allowed to touch each other either. They're not allowed to manhandle one another or anything. There's no physical contact unless, of course, it's to render assistance or something along those lines. So it's it starts off the very first 10 minutes are pretty much like that, and it goes to this whole bit. And the main character, he's nervous. He's got a buddy of his. It's played by the guy who plays Liam in Shameless, for the American version of Shameless. Going back to '94, I think we figured that he's. Did I just say '94? 2014.
Oh my god! I just
Holy
realized
shit!
The dude that plays the main character is actually the Robin character in Titans.
Oh, okay. The new Titans. Okay, you know what? I knew he looked familiar. I couldn't fucking put my finger on it, but now that makes sense because he's the one who gets
Yeah,
mad.
I'm seeing it now. I'm like, whoa.
Beating the snot out of that was violent. That one, just beating the piss out of things. But
Another one that did this whole black and white and then color kind of thing was Pleasantville.
yeah, and this is where I don't like to judge too quickly because Pleasantville, it was part of the plot and part of the story, and it wasn't like a design choice, and I wasn't sure in this one either until he notices that the girl is a redhead, basically, because like suddenly the red they colorize the red hair kind of breaks through the black and white motif, and as the story progresses, that motif gets kind of slowly shattered. It slowly starts to get more color saturation as it happens. It's kind of interesting the way that I think at that point it became an art choice. You know what I mean? But yeah, it was still kind of cool. But
Now, one of the rules is take your medication.
Yep. Take your medication. There's no, and obviously, I mean, a lot of these things already kind of speak volumes. Like the medication will keep you kind of, just kind of placid, just just kind of in a zombified state. You won't show emotion. It's like basically like Ritalin. Basically, was what I kind of got from it. But
That was kind of Ritalin. I've never had Ritalin.
Neither have I, but I've seen people on it that need it, and they're just it's like talking to a dial tone. But so yeah, and like I was saying, his buddy, there's basically a pack of 3 of them, and by the way, 3 is very prominent in this whole story. 3 pops up all over the place. You got the 3 friends, triangles are in the thing all over the place, but we'll get into all that kind of stuff later. Yeah, a couple like leaning posts. There's a few different bits and pieces that were kind of strange. We'll break all that kind of crap down later. The story though, in this part of the story, he's basically nervous because he doesn't know what they have in store for him, because he knows that he's weird, and he doesn't tell everyone how weird he actually is because he sees things that other people don't talk about and stuff and what have you. And so he's already starting to play off this, like, okay, so he's a weirdo. And then sure enough, they're calling out that everybody has a number. Everyone has like a number assigned to them, and they each one by one, as they get called up, they get basically reference to their job. They're like, okay, you are a birth mother, number 35. You jack shit. No, you're you're a plumber. Oh, you get to fly the drone, that kind of thing. And then but they blow right past Buddy. He's like not clearly number 52. I had no idea. They should have pointed out what his number was, because I had no idea that they passed him, but he looked all kind of anxious for some reason. And then it's like, the girl says it, I think, because the audience is too dumb to know what's going on, or the writers are too dumb to write it. So the girl says it to the one. They went right past. I think everybody knows that, and I'll get to why I think that's kind of bad as far as writing goes. But they go through everybody, and he's the last person standing on the floor. This guy, and they say, "You thought I made a mistake, didn't you?" The was it the chief? The chief Ma Bear, she's like, yeah, you thought I made a mistake. Well, I promise you that I didn't. And, because you see things differently than everybody else. Basically says almost verbatim what the guy just told us in the exposition in the beginning of the show. So it was kind of like, there was that. But anyway, we find out that his job is going to be to train with the giver, and he's going to be the receiver of memories. Apparently, I guess the way that they hand down and pass down information through the generations is through one person. I guess so they have like one point of failure, which is like really good. If you're trying to hang on to mankind's knowledge, I guess having a single point of failure is a good thing. Whatever. None of this made sense, but I'll get to it. I did enjoy the movie. Oddly, I did think it was it did have its moments, and it was. I like the premise. Could have been done in more interesting ways, but let's see here. So yeah, he goes, meets up with this guy, and it's none other than old Jeff Bridges, and the rules have changed though, because now that he's no longer a kid, and he's now gotten his job, which has been assigned to him for the rest of his days. He gets read to him his new rules, and most of them are pretty much the same as the other rules, but there's two major differences that I remember picking up. Oh, yeah, three major differences. One is you can ask any question you want. Two, you take a different medication now. You don't take any other medication than the new medication you're being given. And three is you can lie. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
So it's kind of like, at this point now, it kind of goes to, to basically, I got kind of a vibe of like, that freaking movie with, oh geez, what was it called? With Robin, the one with Robin Williams and friggin' what's his nuts there? How do you like them apples? What the hell was that movie called? Jesus, I can't remember the name of the movie.
Robin Williams.
Robin Williams and a smart kid there, but he's not really smart. What the hell?
Kid that's not smart.
Oh god damn! I gotta remember this, or I'm gonna lose it. Let's see here. It's on the tip of my tongue. Robin Williams, freaking hell, it's crazy. I'll probably remember it as soon as before I see it.
As soon as you get there, yeah.
Matt Damon. Yeah, that's who it was. Matt Damon and Robin Williams. What the fuck movie was that?
Oh, Good Will Hunting.
Good Will Hunting.
Yeah, Good Will.
Yeah. See, between us, we got one human brain. So yeah, I enjoyed that movie, but no, I was getting those kind of vibes because I mean, I guess to think about it, like it wasn't an extremely extravagant movie. It didn't have crazy special effects. They didn't look awesome, but they didn't look bad either. Like they didn't. It didn't detract from the movie whatsoever. But I would have to say probably a good, I'd say 75% of their budget went to Jeff Bridges probably. He was probably there for 3 days. But he did a good job.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think it was Dead Poet Society.
No, Dead Poet Society is the one that was an older movie. No,
that was
Good Will Hunting. You got it. No, that's right. I've seen Dead Poet Society.
That was like the first time. Okay.
Yeah, that was done about 10 years earlier, I think. Dead Poet Society.
Was Matt Damon in? No, I don't think Matt Damon.
No, Matt Damon wasn't in that one. It was a bunch of other kids.
Ethan Hawke was in that one.
Yeah, it was that generation of kids, like all those from those movies that were back in the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so anyway, you glossed over the euthanization of the babies that they just weigh, and they kind of do it nonchalantly.
We didn't know that's what's happening at this point though yet. Yeah, that's
No, it happens like right away. I'm like watching it right now. It happens like right at.
Well, no, because though, because it just looks like they're just getting sleep. They're all on meds. They're all on meds. We don't know that the baby's been murdered. Yes, there's baby murder. See, you don't know that at this point. That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, you do, because it shows the father take the one that it weighs the wrong amount, and then he kind of like pets it as he does it, and then it gets put in a box and then like goes down into wherever they.
That scene isn't until 3/4 through.
What do you mean? I'm right there on it right now. Let me see.
No, that's the wrong scene. Because that's the one I out loud laughed like fucking. It's not like a comedy, so I wasn't laughing much through the movie, but I out loud laughed, and I'll explain why. Yeah, no, that's you do see them administering drugs to the babies at the very beginning, but you think it's just the same thing that they're doing with the kids and the adults. Like they're all on drugs. The whole thing. It's like a festival gone terribly wrong,
Yeah, but they put 2 babies on like weighing things.
Yeah. It's a nursery. I mean, they do that in hospitals too. They like we just don't know.
I guess they didn't show that part yet.
They don't show that shit yet. They don't. They start.
They did for the father.
Yeah, they start to show more of that later. Well, since we're on that part of the movie now, we might as well kind of blast through that, because what they have a nursery, and the kids are assigned to their household, so like they don't live with their parents. They're assigned their guardians, and then they live as a family or as a unit, and that's what they're called. They're called their units. And apparently, the babies do have a requirement, because the one guy, the guy who plays the male nurse, he's like, oh, this one didn't come quite in the weight, and like you're like, what do you mean? Like, what's going to happen? Is it going to go to a different kind of a home? Like, he says he won't be able to go to a home with weighing this much, because I guess they have a requirement. So anyway, we kind of learned that there's something weird going on there. We don't know that they're flat out murdering them, but yeah, they're flat out murdering them. And yeah, there is a scene right where like, you don't see him. Okay, so you put the baby in the box, and then put the lid on the box. There's a camera cut, of course. There's a few seconds to kind of cleanse the palate, they'll say. And then you see the box is on a cart now, and he just kind of wheels it over and puts it into a slot in the wall and fires it down a chute. I out loud laughed. I was like, holy crap. I'm glad they did. I'm glad they had a cut there. I'm glad there was a cut.
It reminded me of
it reminded me of the sled that he finds in the first scene with fucking Jeff Bridges when he gets the first juice of memories, and he's on a sled in the snow. And I was like, with that baby, I'm like, hey, he found the sled. Anyway, my brain just kind of went off, into Darkville, but yeah. So that's what basically happens when this guy, the kid goes meets his trainer. It's Jeff Bridges. Jeff Bridges somehow has the power, and they have these marks on their wrists. They both have the mark. I guess nobody else has the mark until later we find out that one of those babies has the mark. And there's more to that. And his name's Gabriel. They only said it like 100 million times in that fucking movie. I don't even know what the other ones' names were. I don't even know what their names were. Jason, Jamie, John, Jonah.
Jonas, I think.
Jonas? Oh, it's close.
Because that's what it was in the original book, apparently.
Oh, I see. So, so apparently, just by touching them and grabbing around the arms, you can share memories, like brainstorm kind of style. And it kind of got neat. This is where it got exploratory and kind of interesting. Because I guess somehow Jeff Bridges' character is a vessel, and I guess what he's done is he's somehow, I guess maybe one in so many people have the ability to harness like all these memories, like a big hard drive kind of thing, right? And I guess because Jeffy Boy was on his way out in life, he's got to impart all this stuff into Jonas.
Someone else.
Yeah, so and I guess you can't just dump it. You can't just do like a mass dump in one night to break the hard drive kind of deal. So I guess that's why they call it training. But you must know and be aware of the fact that nobody in this village knows what's going on in the house because they're not allowed to know. They're not allowed to ask. It's within the confines of the 5 rules that they follow that they just don't know what's going on. And
it's like you'll own nothing and you'll still be happy.
Yeah, it makes about as much fucking sense too. But hey, I digress. So yeah, here I'm gonna try and find a few visual aids here while I talk about this, and I'll change the screens in a second.
You'll be homeless. You'll be happy.
Yeah. Well, you won't be homeless. You get a bike when you're 9. Gotta wait till you're 9 to get a bike. I mean, come on, that's a rip off.
Yeah, and it's not even a really good bike.
Mm-mm. No, but you couldn't say that because then you go to the elsewhere. And this is the thing about the elsewhere, is because it's like, did you have to name it the elsewhere? Like any other name, I might not have known that elsewhere means like, fucking, you're going to meet Elvis, buddy. But yeah, no kidding. But that's the elsewhere. So and Maya
going off a cliff.
Dog's just yelling.
I said throwing off a cliff.
Maya. That's what you sound like. Yeah. Shut up. Trying to do a friggin' movie review. Dogs. Anyway, so yeah, nobody in the town knows this that like what's going on in there. So like, there's this big mystery anyway. And they're also drugged up. They don't give a shit anyhow. They're just they're just happy. They're like, I got a bike, And the other guy, he gets to fly drones now. So he's like, yeah, man, I'm flying all over the place. It's fucking cool as shit. But nobody swears, by the way. Nobody swears, and they're not allowed to talk about emotions. They call language. Like in the very beginning, I remember the boy there says, "Oh, he was terrified." He goes, "I'm terrified." And Mom goes, "Language."
Language. Yeah, that's right. I remember that.
Remember that? It was like, oh man, like I'd be done for. I'd be going to the elsewhere and like in spades.
They all wear like the same kind of clothes too.
No, they all wear exactly the same outfits. The women wear just slightly modified version to fit boobies and and better bums. That's it. That's basically it. They all wear exactly the same stuff.
They're all like white. Well, or is that just
unless it's job related? Yeah, unless it's job related. If it's a job related issue, then they'll have something quite different. Like like in the nursery, they had like the like the I'm a psycho lab suits on. It's like you don't have to have lab suits on. You just wear regular nurse outfits, right?
Right.
Like, what's with that? It's like you picked them up at a cosplay or something, you know?
Yeah, that's a good point.
But so anyway, it's pretty cool. Hayden Christensen gets to ride on a sled in the snow, and then he gets to run around the jungle and smooch a girly girl. There's a festival of music. It all looked like it was so cut. So quickly cut that I don't know, man. It kind of drove me nuts. Like I kind of wanted to puke a little bit because it was just like the way that when they first started showing all the different scenes, it was just cut so fast. Like and not like it wasn't done in a way that was trying to explain anything. It was just like.
Yeah,
this is a shitload of fucking stuff.
Here, look at this crazy place that we're like showing you.
They can do it without actually doing it. Is all I mean.
Exactly. You know, looking at it again, the set it kind of reminds me of the sets that they used on Next Generation. When they go somewhere like Risa or something like that. You know?
So funny that you say that. It is so freaking hilarious. And this is one of the big points I wanted to bring up about this movie is it totally felt like an episode of Next Generation. That's exactly what I was thinking of when I was watching it. Like it got to a point, and I think it was, I don't know what it was. I don't even remember when it was. It might have been around the time. I know what it was. I know when it was. It was when when the waterfall. Okay, so the three friends have a place where they meet, and it's inconspicuous. It's just a triangle on its side, and so it's like a column. That's if you look at it from the top down, that's where the triangle shape is, and the one face of the triangle has an opening where it has a waterfall. Of course, not a wall behind the waterfall. It's just an open, empty space because it's a wall that's in the shape of a triangle, and there's a waterfall.
Yeah, exactly.
Because plot. They need a place. Plot. They exactly. Need a place where the three friends can meet because they're the only three people that age. You know, like when you see them at their graduation, there's like fucking hundreds of them, like hundreds of these like kids like at that age group. Anyway, I don't know. Well, no, I wouldn't say hundreds. There's about probably 60 or 80 or 90. I don't know. What number did they get to? That's a good way to figure it out. But was it 130 or something they got? I think they got to 130 or 140, I think they got to when they did the graduation thing. Anyway, point is, it's like there's this little tiny inconspicuous space. You think that 130 kids wouldn't fucking know about? It's like, right. You're not hiding anywhere. This is my point. You're not hiding. Anyway.
Exactly. Like, and they're constantly being monitored, so it's like they know that they're like going in the.
It reminded me of
hearing what they're saying.
Okay, well, because I figured out early on, because you know I'm not totally retarded. I figured out that the Elsewhere was like probably going to go visit Jim Morrison, something along those lines. So like,
right.
When they were eyeballing that waterfall, there's the three kids are standing in front of the waterfall and they're eyeballing it and they're all looking at each other. I'm like, oh my gosh, they're doing something. They're getting close to breaking some rules, I think. And I immediately thought about Wesley Crusher jumping over a planter, breaking a fucking plant, and on Risa. It's like season 1 Star Trek Next Generation.
Well, that wasn't Risa, but yeah, I know.
Not Risa, sorry. It was that kind of, it was a fantasy planet.
It was like they were
everyone's half naked, yeah. But
it might have been Risa.
I think it was Risa. But anyway, the point is, though, is that they have absolute, like, perfect, it's just a beautiful place, like Eden, right? And that's because... well, if you fuck up, you're dead. Like yeah. If you go into a no-go zone, you're just dead,
Yeah, exactly. You're just dead.
It's just capital punishment. Even if you thought about doing it, you probably get capital.
Same as he's like weighing the babies. Yeah. Like they just, kill you because you're weird.
Yeah,
Like, oh, you didn't do it a certain amount.
Wesley Crusher's such a Nimrod. He's like, I broke it. That's so cool. And he's like, it's nothing. It's just a flare. Look, it'll go back together. And you're like, oh no, Wesley. And of course,
Didn't you feel like
they have to spend the next 40 minutes in a court case trying to get Wesley Crusher out of dangers, out of basically, capital punishment. And yeah.
Yeah, basically.
So
Because it would have been wrong.
So when it was okay, so having seen that Star Trek episode, I knew the kind of trouble kids can get into on these fucking weird planets. And that's exactly how I felt about this show, like this movie. I just called it a show because it felt like an episode or something.
I said
it was so weird. But then
Dude,
but hang on. I was back
like
on
a
Earth
long
again
time.
as soon as I saw Jeff Bridges. I was like, all right, okay, I'm better now. Because he acted his ass off for that movie. It was like the only one, too. Well, Hayden Christensen did pretty good, too. Hayden was good. No, he wasn't bad. No,
when he received the information, that it was it's kind of almost like a virtual experience.
Yeah.
Like how they have those virtual rides or virtual like tours and things like that. Like, oh, you don't want to go to this place, go to this virtually or whatever, and you like see it through somebody else's. Kind of like that movie, Strange Days, where they had the thing that was on the head and it would like record.
Wasn't that whole big thing of big fucking spaceship? The whole city was inside of a spaceship or something. By the end of it, you see this thing just kind of careening through space. It's like, whoa. Or is that Dark City?
Yeah, that was Dark City. Yeah, I thought you were talking about this movie, and I'm like, I don't think that happens on this movie.
Sorry, you just took me there. I also smoked half a joint, so hey. Okay,
yeah,
anyway, so naturally,
yeah,
they all got the spirit of Wesley Crusher, right? And they all one by one goes, "You don't think I'm gonna do it?" And buddy, the one guy goes through. The guy who plays the ginger on Shameless, he goes first, I think. Or does he go last? No, he goes last because Buddy goes first. He jumps through first. The chick follows him, and then Liam jumps in, and and it looks like they did.
The chick was the last one.
Oh, the chick was the last one, right? Because they're both staring at the chick, and then Liam notices that the other dude's staring at the chick a bit harder than he is. I was like, hey, I wasn't looking at her that hard. Can you back off? Like, eyeballs, bro. It was kind of funny.
Well, she did just jump through water, so.
Well, it was, yeah, but they all did.
I know, but like it's like we.
They were thinking the same thing I was thinking. Wet T-shirt. I know.
Or a kid that's growing up, it's like.
Or just a pervert like me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It was like a pervert. Kind of slight perv thing, even though they're still drugged up and whatever.
Yeah.
But to segue, he also ends up as he doesn't have it anymore. He emotions more frequently.
Well, there was a lot of overacting. Like it was like they were like planks of wood, and every once in a while they just emote really hard, and like that. Like, the fucking Liam guy, he emoted really hard at fucking Buddy because he was just having an eyeball hard on for the girl. And it was just like, yeah, it was crazy. And then it switched. So they really painted that kind of like he doesn't know how he feels about that because but is he getting jealous? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, they kind of played that in, but not because he acted it well, like because he just emoted so hard, man. Because I don't know, most of the acting in it was pretty bad. I actually enjoyed it. I really did enjoy it. And the funny thing is that like, I think after you came down from the movie, I think I got a little stoned, and I was just like, wow, no, it wasn't really very good. Like it was a nice story. It was a nice story. Okay, so I'm gonna cut through the whole next part really fast because I don't want it to be as painful as it was for me. Basically, what happens is this: he gets a lot of memories imparted on him, and he loves it. He's like, man, I can take more of this. I can't. You got to give it all to me. Give it all to me, right? And he's like, no, you can't have it all. Blah 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 blah. And he goes, yeah, you want to? Here it is. And boom. So now he's in war. And then boom, Buddy dies. Boom, he had to kill somebody. I can't do it. I don't want to come back here ever again. And then that's it. He goes off. And for some reason, he's still, I don't know, drunk with soberness because like he's off the meds and now he's actually got real emotions again, and he convinces, well, he doesn't convince. He goes to the girl. He's like, hey, if you get off the drugs, if you can get off the drugs for 5 minutes, you know, you might see that it's cool, right? There's a bit of a message here, I think. Anyway, she's like, well, I'll get off the drugs if you go back to your job.
Yeah, but the drugs are meds that are like produced by the house somehow.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's just funny.
Like,
yeah.
So it kind of reminded me of the whole COVID vaccination program.
Yeah.
Like,
we'll get into all that. Let's get through the plot because we can get through this fast because there's not really much to it. There's not much to it. Well, there's a part to pause, and that's when they do all the baby killing because that's kind of it's got to go over that again.
And it's like they're so nice to the babies. It seems like too before they kill them. It reminds me of pets.
Well, because they don't know what they're doing. Like they don't know that that's what is happening because they're all so conditioned. And again, we'll get into all of that because that's where this thing gets interesting. It's more interesting to talk about this movie than it is to watch it. I'm afraid to say. It is entertaining though watching Jeff Bridges and the main character there, like yeah, Hayden, you rock. What's his name?
He had a dream about a bee. That's kind of symbolic.
Yeah, and well, that's where Jeff Bridges. He kind of breaks it down. He goes, "Oh, it sounds like you weren't taking your meds," you know. So it's kind of but you know, a bee royalty or connected to. Okay, we're gonna get into the symbolism and stuff later. Like I'm just trying to get through the plot.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Sorry. I just saw it.
Oh, stop watching it. Are you doing a reaction? We're doing a reaction video at the same time. Apparently, this is awesome.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. # reaction videos review.
Yeah, review as watching. It's almost commentary without watching it.
It's a play-by-played.
Yeah, it's almost like we're doing a commentary.
That's hilarious. So anyway,
we're not even part of it.
And that's the deal, though. That's the deal that he ends up making with her. He's like, yeah, if you get off the drugs, you're gonna love it. Really, he just wants to nail her because like she's got no lust in her loins, you know, when she's on the drugs, right? So he's like, yeah, get off the drugs. You'll like it. Promise. But so she gets off the drugs. She feeds it to an apple. Yeah, I know. We'll get into the symbolism later. Shut up. I almost did it. But I digress.
There's a lot of it, right?
Yeah. Fucking so next day, he's better, and he walks in on Jeff Bridges having a conversation with the last receiver of memory, and it doesn't leave anything to imagination what the job entails, eh? Like receiver of memory. Okay, fantastic. Do I do that sitting down, standing up? No, it doesn't matter. You know?
and then you just stay in that location for the rest of your days.
In that house. Until you have a dead Jeff Bridges in front of you. He's been dead like 3 days. It's like that other movie. Oh, the ocean. What is it? Beach something. Ocean.
But that's also like.
Oh, there's a crazy movie. I can't remember the name of it though.
Getting the information from the past, he learns that there's like all these things that happened, like war and stuff like that, like that none of these people know.
Well, the thing is Jeff Bridges only induces the memories that have like fondness and joy and warmth and caring, right? You know, the first video, the first memory he shows him that's negative is hunters hunting a horse. It was an elephant rather.
Yeah, and it's almost like a different like visual interplay. Like you're
no,
like,
it's like stock footage of hunters like hunting an actual. And then it got cutaways of the main actors like, of Jeff Bridges and the kid. Yeah, so they got like cutaway shots of like these other actors that have nothing to do with the stock footage that they just chopped up, but they just kind of piecemealed it together. I don't know. Some of it was cohesive, but there's a couple shots that looked like completely didn't. They came out of a stock footage. It's like they bought stock footage and they just ran out of it, so they ended up having to stick in another shot from another collection that was like done with a different camera or something. I don't know. It just looked out of place. But I'm getting technical. So okay. So we'll fast forward. He walks in on Jeff Bridges having a conversation with a hologram. A hologram of Jeff Bridges having a conversation with Jeff Bridges having a conversation with his daughter. No, anyway, yeah, it's his daughter. The last person that had the thing. They all have the marks. Remember, they all have the marks. And the baby that's living, the one that didn't make the weight, they didn't actually kill the baby in the beginning. And they didn't actually kill that baby at all. Spoiler alert. But fucking they all have these marks. The psychics, I guess, have marks. But because the other ones don't ask any questions, they don't ask what the mark's about. So they don't know. Wow. That's pretty tight writing. You took care of your freaking, you crossed your I's and dotted your T's. So
maybe you have to read the books. Apparently there's like a.
I'm going to. I'm gonna make. I'm going to make a point of talking to someone who read the book. I'm going to find out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Could just watch a video like of a person that read the book.
I'll watch a video of a person reading a book.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's perfect. No, that's the way. That's the way. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I'm just visualizing a different movie all of a sudden. It's weird. But okay, so yeah, what happens next? They're okay. So they're at a piano, and Jeff Bridges is watching himself have a conversation with his dead daughter, who might not be dead. But I digress. They go. They do a whole back and forth. You know, like we got to do something because people can love. There's a whole thing. I didn't know that was a thing, and there's a thing, and since there's a thing, we gotta make everybody do the thing. They gotta stop doing the drugs. They all gotta get off the drugs. You know what'll never happen, Jeff says. You know what has to happen? What's that you got there? Oh, good eyes. Like, I've only been wagging in front of your face for 30 minutes, you know. Fucking, it's a map to all the memories. Somehow, the memories are beyond the wall, held behind a force field, because okay. Sure. And I thought maybe it was a metaphor. I thought it was a metaphor, like civilization beyond the walls would come pouring in. Maybe there was like the other Outlanders or something, like I don't know.
I know, yeah.
But literally at the end, spoiler alert, good guys win. Fucking he runs through a barrier of weird, like squishy air, like how it looks like kind of like that heat wave effect, and the memories were literally a thing. Like it was an amorphous, foggy kind of air sweat. It was just fucked up. Like I was like, okay. I was wondering how they were gonna actually handle that. And as you see a shot of it right at the end, I'm like, is that barrier holding back a wall? He goes through it like, oh yeah, it is. Fuck. Wow. Wow. Okay. Because
Yeah.
they're just at that point about to execute his girlfriend because she acted as a decoy to help him escape when he went to rescue Gabriel. Because they said his name like 40 million fucking times in the movie. Is Gabriel okay? Yeah, someone get Gabriel. Where's Gabriel? Have you seen Gabriel? Okay, we get what the baby's name is. Timmy?
Wait, that's the
Is
baby's
it
name?
Gabriel? What? Was that the girl? Oh my god. I don't even remember her name.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. The library. He has this whole library, and apparently they're like forbidden to have any
Yeah.
knowledge.
And that's what I thought they meant by memories the whole time until he started grabbing him and shooting memories into his mind. I thought they were I thought they were just being, I don't know, overzealous with the verbiage. I thought basically it would be the books. That is what they were referring to. Like that was what's being handed down, and that's why it's trusted with one person. You know what I mean? And only one other person knows, and that would be the main mob heir there. You know, fucking yeah. Ugh. I couldn't believe it was
There's some
weird.
problems though. Like, I mean, whose memories were we see? Are we seeing that he gets? It's like there's like a
Yeah,
conglomeration of
like,
like
like
all these different.
yeah, like is Jeffrey Boy like is he a fucking TiVo? Like is that like can you just spin up whatever's on the hard
Oh,
drive?
and what happened to all those people? Like, they don't explain that.
Yeah. No, what happened to everybody else? Like what happened to everything? Like yeah, like there's like okay, if suddenly I was
It's
imparted
almost
with
like there's a bomb that went off, and these are
yeah.
the last people, and then they like had like like they created people essentially, and like the probably like the people from the WEF, World Economic Forum, like those types, they if they survived whatever happens, what they would do with the civilization.
That would have been so awesome.
That seems like what they playing out
It's
here.
kind of like how they were headed with it. But the thing was though is that it turned into like twirling mustache victim, like kind of like near the end, like you're at your climax during the big hectic chase sequence,
Yeah.
which was a total nothing
But
burger because like
but when it comes back to it, I think it's a love story in the end, like in a
that's
dystopian
fine, and
future, it's a love
yeah,
story.
I'm okay with that. That's fine. That's cool. That's great. But like just like the directions that
And
things
so like
took,
all of
it was
that.
so I don't know. It was so vanilla. It was so like it's like I don't know, like when a comedian really kind of just falls like flat, but doesn't realize that he is, and just like fucking I don't know. It just kind of you just watch him just struggle. It's funny
Well,
though.
it's like
Like
there's no like crime in the world, right? There's no like aggression essentially. So nobody has any weapons or anything like that.
yeah, but here's okay.
So if
Okay,
somebody did like
it's
start doing that, then
it's important to point out that in the scene where Gabriel gets rescued by Jonas or Jacob, whatever his name is, friggin' yeah, he gets stopped by Ian or Liam rather, and yeah, no, it was Ian. That's right. Anyway, friggin' he
why did
stops him and says,
it's like a MacGuffin basically. But
Well,
why is
hang on.
Gabriel MacGuffin again?
Let me finish. He stops him. Ian stops him and basically says, you're outside of your domicile. Like you got to go back to your house now, back with your unit. And he's like, no. And then he ends up punching him. So
Hmm.
that probably, when you get punched, it probably makes the drugs wear off a little bit. And like it was weird because they tried to make it like he's gonna go after him because they made it like a cheesy ham emoji. Like oh, I'm jealous, but I'm not. Am I? I don't know. Am I? Oh, I don't know what I was thinking. Let's get out of this waterfall inside a triangle thing. You know what I mean? Like that whole sequence, like they played it out so hammy, and it's like, oh, okay, so he's He's noticing him, noticing her. Okay, I get it. Okay, jealousy. Now they're gonna build that onto it. It was so vanilla, like textbook, like first year like writing like class kind of shit, and
Yeah.
and then eventually they still tried to make it badass, and it was like it's like Ian's like and just catches both of them, like, because he's running with Gabriel, like he's holding Gabriel and running, and he tries to get behind this rock, doesn't get there, and this energy particle beam weapon thing lifts him up and sticks him to the underside of the ship, because that's what those things do. And
Right.
and they're flying, and he's like, no, don't let me go. No, you can't do this. You gotta trust me. If you're ever gonna trust me, you gotta trust me this one time. He's like, I do trust you. And he drops him into a fucking like dangerous waterfall. Like he actually he goes, how'd you fool? He thought he was going to get him killed, eh? No, he's going to rescue him, drop him in the water. But it was like fucking 400 feet.
Yeah.
And he's got a
Exactly.
freaking newborn infant in his arms, and he falls 400 feet and lands straight up, feet first.
Yeah, that's right.
He's pancaked out when he falls out from the ship, and then somehow he manages to get feet first holding an infant. And dude, I couldn't keep like my earrings in my ears, like when I went like cliff jumping. Infant, I'm gonna say it's probably a no.
I know, right? No, not gonna carry that.
That's probably a hard no. I mean, the bigger one will probably make it, but I don't know. The whole thing is pretty funny, but they make it. And then we're getting close to the the second funniest scene of the whole movie. And it's when they're going through the snow. The first funniest is when the baby gets in the baby box gets shot down that freaking shaft. That's just it's like a chute.
Yeah.
With force too. It's like, wow. How do you not know you're doing that? Like, you might not know that you're euthanizing them, that you're sending them somewhere, but how do you not know that didn't hurt? You know what I mean? Like, come on. But anyway, sorry. Going to the second funniest scene in the whole damn flick.
It's just like, I think it's that element of like psychopathy where those chicken farmer type of people that kill, like they raise the thing and then they kill it and then they eat it.
Yeah, it's exactly like that.
over time, like if you watch that movie Earth, or I don't know, it's a documentary kind of thing, like where there's people inside of these places and they like recorded it, and you see like the kind of the mean like elements.
I know what you're trying to say. I'm trying to keep it light.
Yeah. Creatures.
I'm trying to keep it light, and we'll get into that too. But
I'm like a Debbie Downer. I'm like wah wah.
I keep doing it too, man. I keep getting out of the plot of the story and then trying to analyze a particular scene. But we'll analyze it to shit like right after, because we're almost there. But this is the second funniest scene in the whole damn flick. I mean, besides Baby Shoot and also Wesley Crusher scene, that was pretty funny too. But anyway, it's in the snow, and they're like plowing. They're just like. Just before the daring rescue of Gabriel, I'm going to say his name every time I refer to him. But just before that daring rescue, Jeffy boy, he just enriches him. He goes, "You've got the bravery. I'll give you the I don't know, what did you say? I'll give you the something, the skills or something along those lines." And I was thinking, like, it was like, oh, because now it's the Matrix. Now I was like, I know kung fu,
I don't understand like why they're showing animals.
Well, yeah.
Well,
first it was like, no, in that scene I'm talking. In that scene,
and then you go.
it was skydiving. in that scene, it was skydiving, and then out from a plane. It was. I wanted to fucking in the shot. I wanted to actually put a fucking what is it from Police Academy? No, not Police Academy. The other one, Naked Gun. You know, in the freaking opening credits, they have the freaking police ball that's right in the front of the fucking camera. They just end up going through all those silly places, weaving in and out, and the next thing you know, they're in the freaking circus, then they're in the jungle, then they're on the moon. It's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that was all from Police Squad.
Yeah, Police Squad. Right? That's it. Yeah. Which was Naked Gun. Yeah. But they did
the movies they made from the Police Squad world
right.
was done.
Fucking. That's what that scene was like. And Jeffy's like, I'll give you the skills. It's like, okay, he's gonna know what they look like and how they feel, I guess. But it won't be. He knows it's not real. You know what I mean? But anyway, then he's in the snow, and he's survived all this long. They went through an arid desert. They went through like a jungly, marshy place, and I don't know. It looked like the Alberta plains. Really, it was like during mud season. Fucking then they're in the snow, and they're trudging, and it does one of those passy out things where it's like, oh, I don't think I'm gonna make it. And he's got the baby. It's like the baby would have been toast a long time ago if you weren't gonna make it. Like, you might as well like shed a couple pounds, because you know what I mean. Like, anyway, he passes out in the snow, and then of course naturally wakes up because the sun comes up, and there's a baby named Gabriel lying on him. Like, I guess somehow imparts some kind of memory back to him, I think is what they tried to say there. It was really weird the way they shot it, and the baby's face was like right in the camera. I should say Gabriel's face was right in the camera. It was kind of off-putting, because I'm like, what is the baby just really into a tree, or is the baby just really concentrating on something? And then you see Hayden Christensen, he starts to fucking, his eyes start to open. It's like, oh, get out. Baby's like, because the baby was like really having a hard time, and I guess because he just heard that he was too freaking underweight and that they were gonna probably whack him, so he's like,
and then when he touches him, he learns that he has like the ability to,
because he comforts the baby with the memories stuff, right? So the baby guys, hey man, you have my back, I got yours, bro. Just fucking baby power. Gabriel's in the house, fucking yeah. All right, we could do this, and then that's when Buddy shows up with the freaking drone, Don't worry, right. Yeah, and he scoops him up basically. He's carrying him for a dramatically long time. Like, instead of turning around and going back like he was, before to do, cat's out of the bag. You're probably not gonna, do what you said you're gonna do, because you would have done it already over rocks, right? It's like,
yeah, exactly.
Like, anyway, it's like, oh, now you're gonna let him go. You could have fucking dropped the drone a little lower, bud. You could have done like a little bit of a lower landing. Because then you could have done like a roll, If you've got some momentum, you could shed energy as you hit, with every hit. Like skipping a stone. Just make it. I don't know. I guess he's only been driving that drone for what, like a couple weeks?
Right.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, and he's probably all excited about it, and, because he's probably seen other people be able to do that before, and
with the drugs though, they prevent him. They're supposed to prevent him, but see, I think what they ended up doing is because like he punched him, so it's like that's almost like being off the drugs completely, because he was clearly told what to do by Ma Bear there, and like she's like, yeah, when you get him, you have to let him go. Like, it was almost, I don't know, she said something like that. It was almost like a throwaway Arnold Schwarzenegger line. And that's where it got that kind of mustache twirly. Like, that's what the Mama Bear, she became, and that was Meryl Streep, right? Yeah, Meryl Streep was the freaking Ma Bear there. Fucking, and she's like,
here's the Hollywood
you've got to get him. You've got to catch him. She's like, he's he's gonna do that thing I don't want him to do. Fucking Jesus. Anyway, so like you know, as soon as she starts touting the evil stuff, right? The girl, she's being carted away because she got caught helping out friggin' what's his nuts, and Gabriel, and then friggin' it's like she's like, oh yeah, best friends, right? And it just keeps walking, and it's like, oh yeah. She just got out of the valley. Friggin'. So it's like, did that register? Probably did. They wouldn't have put it in the script if it wasn't important. Just like, yeah, there were no red herrings really in this film at all. But we'll get into that. So anyway, yeah, I think the rest of the story kind of writes itself, because what happens next is Hayden Christensen gets out of the water, walks a few hundred feet, and then suddenly can't find. It's supposed to be right here. The barrier that surrounds everything, that's like perfect circle, is supposed to be around here somewhere. I think you'll know it when you see it, bro. Keep going. You just haven't gone far enough yet. Just keep going in the same direction. Fuck. Anyway, and then
don't go off the cliff, though.
Don't go off the cliff. Yeah. But that was funny. Oh, that's okay. That's the actual tie for second. Anyway, I'll come back to it. But yeah, so he kind of keeps venturing, and now there's no drama because like he just can't find the fucking thing. So like the writer's like, what do I got to do? Oh yeah, right, the chick. Okay, they're gonna murder her. So they do it really slow, and for some odd, I don't know why. It's a public affair. I don't know. Everyone's just there watching through like a glass window, while the nurse, who's works in a nursery, obviously, is very slowly preparing a lethal injection in the most extravagant device that man has ever created, because they want the experience of being killed slow. It's so bad. And then this is where Jeff Bridges just, makes us forget about that with his acting chops. It worked. It worked. In the moment, it worked, because I was just like, yeah, he's trying to convince Meryl Streep, like, to not be such a cunt. He's like, and your son, you loved him. It's like, language, language, Jeffy boy, language. Fucking. Oh, it was kind of silly, actually, now that I think about it. But Jeff, he's like, yeah, your son, you did love him, though, didn't you? You had to watch him die. And she's like, no. And then, oh, there it is. It cuts back to so-and-so, Gabriel there, and they're running, and there it is, and boom, runs through it. And then camera cut back to the dramatic, slow-ass needle that's like a meter away still. Like, oh yeah, we're gonna get to this eventually. And then boom, he's going through the thing, and then the thing cuts through all the memories, because memories float in the air now, and the memories rush into the valley, and then rush over the plateau and the mesa, and since they went through the barrier, now they go and they find a cabin, and there's Christmas lights, and might be someone home. Could it be Jeff Bridges' daughter? We'll never know, because I hope they never make a sequel.
They never shall.
That's crazy, man. Well, that was a bad part of the that was a bad part of the whole filming experience.
Probably was like Jeff Bridges' daughter. That's a good point.
But no, Jeff.
Someone basically represents someone that got out before him.
Yeah. I hope the stream doesn't look like what I'm seeing on my, because your camera is like going. You're doing like you're doing the that movie The Ring. Like you're doing the Ring on the fucking. I hope I don't die in like 3 days or some stupid shit.
7.
You crawl out of the screen and fucking hand me a doobie and I choke on it. Sorry, man.
I come up from the corner.
Yeah. Here, you want to hit? So the movie was a bit silly, I guess. I enjoyed parts of like aspects of it, and there was a shit ton of symbolism going on there for sure. It was fraught with it. I mean, triangles. Obviously, the eye. By the way, if anyone doesn't know this, is usually it's basically a waterway. It's basically like an entryway by water, and that's usually how it's symbolized. And having the triangle with the waterfall, I don't know, it might be maybe they like geometry or something. I don't know. But
Yeah.
it was all full of stuff like that. It was weird choices. You go ahead.
Yeah.
You had a few off the hop, and I've got a couple other things.
Well, yeah, there's the triangle element, and then the
Well,
being
yeah,
it was interesting that they did it under okay, water's like a portal, like in most magic perceptions.
right.
So so then they jump through the portal, and then they're separated by the rest of the world. Like now it's just them, you know. So it's like that element of being inside of the uh, triangle or is protecting them.
Right. See, I don't know. A few hours after I watched the movie and had a little bit of time to reflect. See, during the actual watching, I had different feelings of different movies that they were trying to like pull off. You know what I mean? Like, it felt like, you know what I mean, and or accidentally pull off. You know what I mean, or not. You know, unintentionally kind of thing. Maya, how you doing?
Yeah, exactly. It's like they make you they remind you of other movies
Yeah,
or their scenes. That
but
remind you of other
afterwards,
movies.
I had this fucking thought, and I went, you know what? There's a missed opportunity right here because
So
because the way that they ended up doing it, if they were gonna go and do that, like if memories, or let's not call it memories, let's just say there is a field, like a field effect that prevented them from having or retaining memories, you know what I mean, or wanting the experience, like a control thing. And I was thinking, my God, this could be like a sequel to They Live, like, and because it basically was the same plot as the fucking movie They Live. It's like, except for it didn't have that really awesome epic fight sequence that was like
fight
like
scene,
like
yeah.
23, 24 minutes long itself. Like it was the greatest fight ever. Put on the glasses. I won't put on the fucking glasses. So funny. Just to put on the freaking pair of glasses. That's so
It's
good.
fun to put on the glasses. It's like a prideful thing.
Yeah. Just
Like,
put
no,
the glasses on.
why don't you just ask nicely? Maybe if you asked nicely, he would have did it.
I'm getting mauled here. So anyway, yeah. See, yeah, I was thinking to myself though. No, I mean, like, if just a couple. It could have almost done it exactly the same, like almost to the letter. Because like I would have believed it if it were under alien kind of control, and especially if it was those aliens. Because like, what was it at the end of They Live? It was they had like a pulse, like a some kind of pulse antenna thing that was on top of the building, which was kind of feeding everybody a hypnotic signal or something. You know what I mean? Like that would have been perfect. And they could have, they could have kept the same story, and it would have played out almost identically. That would have been a win. And the whole thing with the black and white, for it to start off in black and white, would be perfect because that's what you saw when he put the glasses on. So like it had the same aesthetic as well, like, and everything was very washed out and kind of, like like kind of. Wizard of Oz. Yeah, you know how Wizard of Oz had that really saturated color, like that really bright, like punchy color, like you don't see today. Like you don't, like nobody in their right mind would produce that. There's like when they got the colors, when they invented color print. I mean, Jesus, they probably were like, we're gonna go color, baby. We're going all the way color. We're gonna go 5 colors in a 3-color zone.
The baby and the shoot.
The baby in the shoot. We gotta play that. We could play that. That's less than 10 seconds. Hang on, I gotta pull that up. Because like Jeff Bridges, I got like a TiVo. But yeah, so the whole premise of the control factor, though, what blew my mind was the contradictory. The conflict could have been easily avoided. Like, it's like, yeah, we don't need a receiver of memories. We're downsizing this year. You know what I mean? Like,
true.
Won't accidentally plunder all that we worked for.
Why did they want to keep the memories?
Yeah,
anyway?
If they were afraid of it plundering the civilization, and they were smart enough to carry out the organizational ability to put people under this kind of a racket, then don't you think they would be able to put in place the checks and balances to make sure that motherfuckers like that don't do stuff like that? See, that's where I had confusion, because I thought Ma Bear there, Meryl Streepy, would friggin'. I thought she was just kind of like a low-level boss. You know what I mean? Like, I thought maybe there was other controllers, like a bigger kind of a.
Oh yeah, I did too.
I would have been okay with it, like, if that were the case, but it wasn't. It was like she was like, because later on they make a point of saying it's like, you know, Ma Bear there knows best, you know, or whatever, or knows everything, and except for she's not. She's just the second, you know, most, because the first most is the giver, and that's what the title is. You know, name. Yeah, they waited an entire I think like 38 minutes or check it out. Maybe it's 33. I don't know. There's a lot of threes in it. when he name drops the title, he title drops there, calls it. Because what Hayden Christensen does go and say, well, if I'm the receiver, then what does that make you? Wow, this old, and yeah, they didn't teach you much at school, did they? Wow. Yeah, he's not too bright. It's weird, eh? It's almost like a fucking, I don't know, like a Labrador Retriever, kind of like, floppy ears, just fucking going through life. Fucking, I don't know. It's kind of funny.
Who? The character?
Yeah, Hayden Christensen. There's a few scenes he's just like fucking all just goofy. It's funny. Yeah.
He's not Hayden.
I bet you somebody's gonna clip that. I just did.
This is what you call him. He's that dude that's on Titans as Robin.
Yeah, that's right. Not Robin. That's what I call him.
Well, he is Robin.
No, I know, but I call him not Robin. I don't know why. Because he doesn't want to be Robin.
That's true. in the storyline.
Yeah, like in the story. That's why I call him not Robin.
But he ends up being it anyway, and you know, in the way that everything snarches.
He's robbing and stealing. Yeah. That wasn't a bad show. Violent as hell, and I was like, wow, they went there. Cool.
What? Titans? I've been watching it here and there. And I'm actually enjoying it.
I also saw, what is it, Umbrella.
Good for DC, because DC was really not doing it for me anymore.
Umbrella Academy season 2 surprised me as well.
Oh, that was good.
It was on par with the first one.
Right with Simone.
I tell you, that one scene where the time traveling dude, when he goes and assassinates that board of directors, that scene was fucking badass. I don't care what anyone says.
It was a badass scene. It was like straight out of Kill Bill.
Yeah, straight out. But except for he's interdimensionally popping from point to point in the room, and he's just going around just just hacking and slashing. Oh yeah, that was good.
Yeah,
That was funny.
crazy.
It was just the way they pull it off, and he just kind of licked it off like it was no big deal. It's like he just leaves and just takes a shot of whiskey. Friggin' yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if I can recommend the movie. I would if you want to see some extremely funny scenes. Okay, so for the tie for second funniest scene is the high speed bike chase with Gabriel and Hayden Christensen there. They're in the lead. Somehow they have police that nobody knows about that are on bikes that go just a little faster than Hayden Christensen's bike, which is good. And they have a couple extra police that are, a few hundred yards ahead of him coming from the other direction suddenly. And it's like, oh, just in time.
They don't spoil it all in the story until that moment.
Yeah. So Crafty, he takes a high ground this time instead of becoming Darth Vader. And he goes and scoots there. He zigs instead of zags, and the other guys don't follow because he disappears into smoke. We don't know what's on the other side. We think it's a chasm, like a deep chasm, like a valley that's like really far down and probably not jumpable. And he rides through smoke down a small hill, and then the AI, there's an artificial intelligence thing, which I thought was in control too, but apparently it's not. It's Ma Bear there. I didn't get the power configuration of that whole place.
Or the pecking order.
Yeah, I had no idea how it went, man. At least like Brave New World was creepy as fuck, but at least you understood the hierarchy. You know what I mean? Like how it was laid out. But here, anyway, Christensen, he disappears off, and like a waft of smoke just disappears behind him, and it's like the other guys on the bikes just stop. They're like, and then the AI announces that
we're not going.
He's left. He's left in the edge of the perimeter. Signal search is gone, or is it the search is discontinued? It's like, fuck. I was like, wow. Like, you didn't even see
the border.
Yeah, because obviously these cops, they can't be on as much drugs because they wouldn't have been able to ride so well, right? So obviously, none of them have the sense to go and stick their ear out like, hey, I didn't hear anything crash, bang, boom, explode. I think he's still going. You know what I mean? Like, nobody got even a bit curious. They don't ask questions, though.
Right.
They get high speed. That was it was